Welcome to Marwen. Spoiler! Sorry, spoilers. Can't help myself. Okay, so yes, I got the chance to see Welcome to Marwen with my Mezco date. They gave me a toy. I'm like a child. I feel like every time I show up, he's like, here's a goodie. And I'm like, yay! As soon as I figure out how to open it, because I'm just, thank you. But anyways, I got it open. So I got the chance to see Welcome to Marwen. Now, the truth be told, I didn't, oh my god. Look at you, hi! So what I wanted to actually talk about with in regards to Welcome to Marwen, this is so cool because it's like, this is my little Marwen. I'm gonna chill him like up here, where he can guard the universe of the Bitten Apple TV team forever and ever. Are you gonna stay up there? Awesome. So, Welcome to Marwen is actually a film I didn't see the trailer to. I saw like, you know, like the billboards. I didn't quite get what it was about, but once I got the chance to actually see it, it blew my mind away. It was not anything of what I expected. Probably because, you know, you see toys and you're thinking Toy Story, and you're like, you know, to infinity and beyond. That's mostly what you're kind of anticipating. And then you see Steve Carell and you're thinking comedy, because I'm thinking The Office, you know, 40-Year-Old Virgin. This film is nothing like what you would expect for Steve. So what the film is basically about is about an illustrator who, you know, he was an amazing, incredible artist, and unfortunately he was the victim of a hate crime. So it turns out that he likes to put on women's shoes here and there. Now, it's not that he's gay or anything, he's not queer, and if he was, there's no problem with that. However, because of this, he was at a local bar and these guys jumped him. They called him queer. He said one little comment like, yeah, every now and then I put on shoes, just kind of being a little sarcastic about the situation. And they jumped him outside the bar and they beat the crap out of him to the extent that he lost all of his memories of his previous life and his personal life. He could no longer be an illustrator. He could barely write his own name. So, you know, these guys who jumped him for this hate crime, you know, really tragically changed his life. You know, I'm gonna say temporarily, if you will. So what ends up happening is that in his regards to still creating art and still being a creative individual, he ends up using these action figures and dolls, you know, Barbies. He gets the paints, he changes how their face looks, and a lot of the people that are in the store are people that are actually in his life. So shout out to Janelle Monáe. I thought that was pretty cool. I did not see you come in, and when I saw you, I was like, ah! Oh my god! That's my girl. So I love the fact that she, you know, that she was in it. That was pretty cool. And once you sort of realize that each doll represented a female in his life, you start to kind of just go, well, where's this all coming from? So you see that these dolls are in war with these, you know, with these 5 Nazis, and it seems that the men who had jumped him happened to have like the Nazi, you know, swastika, which by the way, that's not meant for that symbol, but that's not what it's known for now. That was, I guess, his way of going through his own version of therapy to get through the traumatic experience of what he had dealt with that particular night. He was found by a woman named Wendy that, you know, that he was in love with. You don't really find out if they had a relationship or if he was just in love with her for saving him when she found him. So when they open up the film, you actually start off in Marwen, and it kind of just, you know, they don't hide the fact that they're toys. They don't make it like this full-on animation, like it looks like, you know, very Pixar-y. Like, it's not like that. It's obvious they're dolls, but they're moving very smoothly, and I guess it's the way how a child would imagine how their dolls actually move in real life, and I feel like that's the best way to describe it. So you start off there, and then they sort of transition over into the real world, and they show, like, you know, what he does. You know, it's a little like startling for a second because you're not expecting to see Steve Carell actually look like that, and you're like, oh, okay, so where's this going? As the film begins to make progress and you start to learn all of the dolls and who they are and the people in his life, you see that the women in his life are very supportive. They're they have like random jokes in there where they ask questions about like, well, when's this doll gonna find the love of her life kind of thing. You know, and then there's the one character, her top gets blown off and she happens to show up and she's like, where's my top? And he's like, oh, the Nazis took your top off. Like, it was cute. It was really cute. So I do have to say that I enjoyed that aspect of them making the transition from, I guess, doll reality, slash his mentality of what he's going through, crossing over into the transition of what was happening in the real world. You sort of see, like, you know, where Roberta's really trying to be supportive and let him know, you know, you need to go to your court date, you need to fight these guys and, you know, make sure that they get what they deserve for what they've done to you. And as you're watching him have to battle with being in the news, being in the paper, being, you know, a very severely beaten, you know, victim, because he gets jumped by 5 people, you watch how it affects him mentally. So you start to see where the dolls are interacting with him. You see him where he's having a breakdown at, you know, at these random moments during times that he really shouldn't be having, you know, a complete episode. You also see that he has this one particular doll that's called Deja, which I'm assuming is supposed to be deja vu. At least that's what I was thinking from the beginning of the film. But it's like Deja Thoris, I believe that's what it was called. I apologize if I mispronounced it. But as soon as I saw the doll, I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. You know, it's supposed to be like the Belgian witch, you know, and I was like, okay, the Belgian witch of Marwen, okay. And then I started noticing that he was taking medication, and the medication had the exact same color as the hair of the doll. So I immediately put that 2 and 2 together, but I didn't want to see if I was correct. So as you start to go through this moment with him, you see that he kind of falls in love with the woman across the street. Her name is Nicole without an E. He sees her and he starts to sort of fantasizes about, like, you know, what life is going to be like with her and how they're falling in love and what ends up happening. And it's a really, it is a sad moment, because there's like sprinkled elements of comedy throughout the film. However, it has a very serious tone to it, because you realize in a very simple way that this is this man's mental state because of what has happened to him. So as he starts to fantasize what's happening with Nicole, he has a doll of Nicole. He puts her in his Marwen world. She's there. They're in love. The whole 9 yards is going on, and you see the moment building up. Now, you, as a viewer, you're not sure if she's falling in love with him also, but you're just sort of kind of going it from his perspective. Then something goes very wrong during the day that they're supposed to have a tea party, or you know, or a night of, you know, just, you know, like lunch date, just drinking tea. Which, by the way, Nicole, the real Nicole in life, you rock, because I am your tea date girl. I'm just letting you know. Because I love tea. I love tea. I love teapots. I love everything about tea. I'm not even kidding. My happiest moments is literally sitting in a tea shop drinking some tea. Oh my god, I love you, Nicole. We're like spirit animals. This is the second time I watched a movie and I found my spirit animal. First Anna Fang, then Nicole without needs. Oh my god, where am I going? But what ends up happening is that he's sitting there, you know, talking to her. He's actually showing her these photographs that he's taking of these dolls, and that's how, like, again, he's expressing himself. He's still continuing his artwork, but in that moment, she's watching the photos and she's starting to realize he's developing feelings for her, and he may have the intention that proposing to her and thinking that she may think, you know, he may think that she has feelings for him. And it's a sad moment, because by the time that point of the film happens, you realize, one, she doesn't have the same feelings for him, and then two, you realize all the horrible things that has happened to him, because they sort of do like a photo album journal kind of thing in the beginning as they're flipping through the pages, and they give you sort of like a real serious glimpse of like how depressed he is. Like, there's a lot of things going on with him, you know. As happy or interesting work that he puts out, it's very dark on the inside. So when you see her like observing the photos and sort of making this realization, like, I don't have feelings for this guy. In the photos, the doll Hoagie is actually proposing to Nicole with the purple medal. So he buys a mini one for the dolls to do it inside their tea house for their tea party, and then he tries to reenact it actually in real life. And it's such a hard moment to sit there and watch, because he gets down on one knee, he pulls out the purple, you know, she had just seen it in the photos, and in the photos, in the storyline, she says yes. So in his head, he's like, she's gonna say yes. So, you know, he pulls out the medal, he proposes to her, will you marry me? Very unique, very flippin' awesome. I mean, that is pretty cool. I don't think anyone else can beat that. Like how'd your man propose to you? He gave me a purple heart. Like, you know, like, forget your ring. Like, like, that's pretty cool and creative. However, she starts to kind of just apologize to him. Now, here's where the hard moment comes in, because she's feeling uncomfortable, and she's apologizing, like, we're friends, we're really good friends, we're friends. You kind of don't get the idea of how much time has passed, but you do understand that they just met. So, while she's apologizing, she's trying to figure out a way how to get out of the situation, because now you have to remember, he's down on one knee, right? So they did this beautifully by having Steve Carell stay in his position. So he's proposing and his back is turned and he's facing her, and she ends up getting up, right? So she gets up, I have something for you, right? So she's gonna go get him a gift because she's just trying to find a way to make the situation better, because she realized she's really hurting him, and she's like, I never had the intention of hurting you. During the entire time she's speaking, he doesn't move. He does not move at all. He stays there this whole time. And when you watch the film, that is going to be the scene that's going to hit you the hardest. You don't have to cry. I didn't cry, but it's a moment of just, it's so human, of the moment of when you think of something that really hurt you and you didn't know how to respond. You didn't know whether to cry, you didn't know whether to scream, you didn't know whether to be angry. It's just a moment of pure pain as an adult that brought you back to feeling like a child. That was the kind of pain that was there. And he doesn't move. And it's all in the simplicity of it. So by the time she comes back, he like runs across the street. He goes back home. You see that he has also, that was a hard moment, but you also see he has these other mental relapses when Nicole's ex-boyfriend, his name is Kurt, he shows up just to like kind of intimidating because he wants to see like who's this new guy around his girl. You see him have like a flip out, like he didn't know like what's going on. He's just like kind of intimidating him, and then he freaks out and runs back home. There's a lot that happens where you see that he's even sitting down having a cup of coffee, and for whatever reason his memory triggers and he goes back to the same night and what happens to him, and he feels like he's being attacked again, and he drops his cup, he hits the floor, he's screaming, more ammo, more ammo, more ammo, and while he's on the floor he sees the dolls actually getting up. So here's the interesting part. Since the dolls are actually interacting with him in the film, they show the transition of what he's doing with the dolls to get the photography that he wants to show, like of real life or emulating what happened to him, through these photographs. But then at the same time, you see the dolls interacting with him in real life. And you see him going through his mental stages of dealing with the addiction to pills because he's trying to like cover up the pain that he's going through. He also has a breakdown where he starts to cry about like how he's tired of being so alone. And the whole entire film, you really realize he just wants to be loved. He wants to be loved, not by like 1,000 women. He doesn't need endless women. He just wants one woman to just love him, just one. That's it. And one of the things that he does also mention in the film, as the character, he says that the reason why he puts on the shoes, the women's shoes, is because it connects him to a woman's essence. And I guess it's that woman's essence, that woman's touch that he's looking for. And by the end of the film, he ends up going out with Roberta for sushi, which I'm not sure if that was supposed to imply that they were dating or not, only because in the beginning of the film when you first meet her, besides in doll form, when you meet her in her human form, she's trying to get him out the house. She's like, hey, my mom's making ham, wanna come over? And he's like, nah. And she's like, chicken. He's like, nah, salmon. Like, she's just throwing everything, like, I'm trying to get you out the house, bro. Like, come on, take a hint. So I don't know if she's supposed to have like romantic feelings for him. I think she does kind of have romantic feelings for him, but I just wasn't sure like where they were gonna go with it. So wow, I really say I'm a lot. I'm sorry. So it was intense just to sort of watch him go through those motions, and then finally they get him into the courthouse. He has a breakdown in the courthouse that they had to like postpone the court date, and then when he finally gets into the courtroom, he has enough strength within himself to actually speak against the people who attacked him, as well as the judge is speaking on behalf of his lawyer about the things that has happened to him in regards to how much his life has drastically changed. Your life is about to drastically change if you meow again. I'm sorry, he's driving me nuts. I'm driving nuts. Rob, stop playing with him. It was intense, and then when you finally get all the way to the very end, and he's at like this art gallery that shows off all the work that he's done, and people are like enjoying it, and people are basking in his work. He starts to turn to Roberta, and as he starts to explain the story, what's happening between the rest of the characters, he ends up stating that in real life, some people are basically not meant to be loved. That's it. Like, they're just destined to be alone for the rest of their lives. Watch, every single person who's in a dark mood right now is like, I'm gonna go see Marwen. Yeah, you should go watch it. But it's like a very sad story, and then at the very end they also do show you like his picture, and they let you know that now Marwen which is now Marwen Cole, because Mar is for him as Mark, and Wen is from Wendy, from the girl who saved them, and Cole is from the Cole without the E. Although if he gets from Roberta, I don't know how that's gonna work. Is that gonna be Marwen Cole Marwen Colta? That can work. They talk about how Marwen's now grown to like the population of 200. So a lot of the people he does interact with end up in his art gallery as dolls, because he does repaint them. It was a very touching film. It was very there was drama, comedy, action, and for something that's along the lines of drama, that's normally not where I would like, hey, definitely go watch it. But I did find it very interesting. It's enough to make you sit down and go and think about everything that you have going on in life. It makes you question your relationships that you have with people, the terrible things that do happen to people, or people like him where terrible things just happen to this one individual when really they're just really asking for someone to be kind to them. It's a very human movie, and I think it has a lot of elements and layers of, hey, be good to others, look out for others, mind your relationships, because a lot of people don't understand that when someone is good to you, or when good things are happening, that they take those good relationships for granted. And once you do that, you lose them forever, and that's an issue. So that does come along with him as he's going through his relationships with everyone else, and you see it in all of these dolls. Of course, him and Nicole are still friends, at least from what I understand in the film. And I would definitely recommend it for anyone to take a look and just watch it, enjoy it. I think it's a nice holiday film. It's a lot of fun. However, if you're thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna take my kid, blah blah blah, it's not that there's bad scenes in there, but I'm not sure like on the maturity level of your kid if they can comprehend what's really happening in the film. As an adult, you're gonna sit there like I'm not lying, you will. It's a lot of fun. Everyone did a phenomenal great job. Steve Carell, my god, I'm Carell, if you're watching this, I'm used to you as like the dude who's the reporter in like Bruce Almighty. I'm thinking of you as 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Office, as Michael. Like, you don't understand. So when I saw you as Mark, and I saw you doing the dolls, and you're like, welcome to Marwen, and you're like falling in love with Nicole, there was this sweet essence to you that I had never seen before, and I was like, holy crap. who is that man? Like, you did a great job. Everyone did a great job. I really did enjoy it. I think you guys, for those who sound like you might enjoy this film, sorry for the spoilers and stuff like that, but I do think there are a lot of powerful scenes in that film that it's enough to touch somebody's heart, and as well as your mind and your memories. Do take the time to go check it out. Thank you so much, Mesco. Love for you guys. I love our company dates. This is the second one, so close. Thank you guys so much. And also, speaking of which, in regards to like dolls, we are running a contest. That's right, again, with the contemporary art of Krampus. Now, we are here around the holiday time, and just because I'm magical like that, and Ralph happens to be standing by and I'm holding the book upside down, so we're doing this book. Now, you can win this book. For those who love Krampus, you're like, yeah, you know, the naughty Santa for the naughty children. That's right, be good kids. This is a book you can win. All you have to do, listen to me very carefully, all you gotta do, you download ClipKick. What's ClipKick, you ask? It's literally an app that allows you to save any online video, any online podcast. You can save it all in one convenient location without killing your phone. Tell me that isn't magic. Thank you so much, ClipKick. I love you guys. So if you go into ClipKick, download it, and you're gonna use the hashtag Bitten Krampus. They will be looking out for the hashtag, and on January 4th, that is the day that I picked to pick out the winner, and we will mail you this beautiful book. I want to see your best, you know, Krampus videos, photos, as long as it's something that can fit into ClipKick. My love, we are good. I will find your name and you can win this lovely book. Make sure you guys, of course, click that button down and subscribe. If you have any questions, whatever it is, you got some commentary, maybe you know more about the Marwen. Maybe you're from the town that he was in New York, you know, when this terrible tragedy happened. Tell me how you guys you feel about it. And if you are from that town, do you plan on seeing the film? Do you know him personally? How do you feel about the film? How do you feel about, you know, Steve Carell's performance? How do you feel about Steve Carell going from what people usually know him for to suddenly such a serious dramatic role? Because that's very hard for comedic actors to do, because a lot of times people don't take them as seriously as they should. But I don't feel like that's gonna happen with Marwen. So definitely round of applause for you guys. Again, thank you so much. Whoop, whoop. Krampus is going to eat you if you don't enter the contest. Let me stop. Love you guys.